Happy Friday. Welcome back to Laurie and Billie Jean. Let's eat. I'm Laurie. I'm making every recipe in my grandmother's extremely confusing cookbook. Today we're making a ramen slaw. So I like to think that this is like a new age recipe that my grandmother had in the past 10 years, since that's what we're talking about as new age here. So this one you do have to make ahead. So I'm making it 8 hours before I plan to eat it because it needs to sit in the fridge until then. So it's a little bit of a time consuming one compared to some of the others, but let's do it. Let's get started. We're gonna have a fish fry tonight. Okay, so this is kind of a layered slaw and we're gonna go through each layer as we build it. So your first layer is gonna be the ramen. I was supposed to get just those regular packets of ramen, but I went to 2 different grocery stores and neither of them had it. So this recommends 2 packages of the beef style ramen along with the flavoring. So because I couldn't find the ramen, I couldn't find the flavoring, I got this Japanese style ramen noodles, and then I got some pho inspired beef broth. I know this is like mixing genres quite a bit here. We're gonna try it. It's kind of liquidy, which the box would have had a powder, so I'm hoping that doesn't cause too much of a problem, but we'll see how close we can get it. And you're gonna have a layer of slaw, a layer of green onions, a layer of slivered almonds, and then a layer of sunflower seeds. So we're gonna build all that, and then there's a liquid that goes on it. So it's gonna have canola oil, sugar, and distilled white vinegar. I broke my canola oil bottle, so that's what we have there. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is toasting the almonds, and then I'll start building the layers because I can do this both at the same time. So let's get going. So in goes our slivered almonds. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
I also went ahead and cut up the scallions. So prep work on this is super easy. I'm happy about that. In the meantime, I Googled those boxes of ramen noodles, which per the internet, I could have grabbed at a Walmart. So that's my mistake for not just going to Walmart. So there's 3 ounces per package. This is 8 ounces, so we'll use almost all of this. Yeah. So that's 4. Then 3 of these is 6. Yeah. Wow. Math. What a friend indeed. Okay. Thank you, ramen noodle maker. So I'm gonna break this up. Whoa, that's hard. Okay, there we go. Progress is being made. The box is literally directly in front of my camera. Okay. Great. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this beef broth. Again, if you got the packages as instructed, you will have a dry. So what I might do is just use a little bit of this and then I'll cut back on how much liquid I pour in. Large package of slaw. That seems fine to me. This package looks large enough. I'm a little worried about the size of my pan here, but I guess all the other layers are very small, so it doesn't really matter. I almost held onto the slaw for too long before using it, I will say. And then the next layer, I believe, is our chopped onions, evenly spread on top. So I've got greens and whites here. Didn't specify if I needed one or the other, so I went with both. So while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and mix the liquid that we're gonna pour on top, and then we're gonna be pretty close to done. I feel like I always heard this was a complicated recipe, but this feels extremely simple. So this is 1 cup of white sugar. I am a little unsure I have a cup of white sugar. So I'm just gonna pour everything I have in there. I feel like it won't be that bad though. I don't need as much sugar here. And then we need 3/4 a cup of canola oil and 1/3 a cup of white vinegar. I'm gonna eyeball these. So. So let's finish this sucker off. I think the almonds are pretty good now. I smelled them at least, which I didn't before. That seems right. So we're gonna put this layer of slivered almonds on top here, if I could pick it up. And how much? We're going to do a cup of sunflower seeds. Let's use my bada bing, bada boom. Sunflower kernels. And now we're gonna put our little liquid on top. All right, like I said, see you in 8 hours. So here's our slaw 8 hours later. One thing I do want to say about the recipe is that as I was unwrapping it, I was like, how in the world can we eat dry ramen? And now I know that the 8 hours is because it soaks the ramen so you can eat it. All right, let's try it. So here we go, trying out our ramen salad. Okay. I think it probably needs to soak a little longer because the noodles aren't totally not dry. I'll probably use a little bit extra sugar. But it's a nice little meal side, this fried fish. I'll tell you, most of the stuff I eat on this channel is pretty good. I'm just highly critical of my own cooking, so I'm always trying to improve it. This is one of the least good ramen salads I've ever had, but it is a really good recipe. My mom makes it, so I do recommend trying it yourself using the link in the description. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It's nice to have with the mountain of fried food I'm about to eat with the rest of the fried fish. Yeah. Eugene, let's eat. Can you sit down?